Welcome to another episode of Fresh Perspective, where we give you a fresh look on today's hot topics. And there's no hotter topic than Phil Jackson, New York, and the separation, man. We got a good one for y'all today. Like I said before, the NBA is the gift that keeps on giving. But first, my name is Irvin Hawkins. I'm your host, and I'd like to introduce the young and talented, I know on fire right now, Mr. Courtney Chappelle. How you doing, sir?
What's good, world? Let's work. We got a lot of action to do today.
All right, and we also got the great orator and tactician, my friend and yours, Mr. D. Burtz. Talk to me.
Hey man, homage is due. And right now I'm gonna let the man known as Courtney Chappelle, aka Man on Fire, do what he do. Denzel Chappelle right now. Let it go.
Mr. Chappelle, how do you feel about what just transpired in New York today?
Feel violated. They're not getting the message here, but it's okay. It's a little. Inside, I'm cool with it. And one side, I feel like whatever. I say give him the whole 5 years. I don't care what he do. 5 years. Let's see what we come out from with it. But they did it in 3. He did some good. He did some bad. A lot of this is on him because he's the face, but he don't care. But I'm okay with that. This is what I feel. This is in the hands of Steve Mills, Carmelo Anthony, and Kristaps Porzingis.
Interesting. So why? Go a little deeper on that. Why those 3 people?
I got you. There's no more little baby in the streets. We're not looking at KP as the young boy that came. Nah. You got an attitude. You ain't want to come to no meetings. You better be a ball player. We looking for you to knock down jumps. It's not okay. That cool, brother. You part of this team now. You part of New York in the fabric. You could get people fired. I think you should be a great player. Be somebody amazing.
Okay. Well, now there's word on the street that your boy Phil was lazy. This was a money grab. I mean, it's a lot of dirt on Phil's name today, man. How do you feel about
that? Lazy, I'd say old. I don't know if he's lazy. I'd just say he's old. But whatever. So he basically came as the president. And he let the GM do a lot of the work. Okay. Cool. He did all of the meetings and stuff, but you made the final decision, which is his right. Whatever. He's old. He fell asleep. Maybe I'm okay. He made some good picks and in this. Look what he came into. We're not even gonna get into the particulars because I gotta let my man in. But just as we get on your understanding, it's cool. Melo, it's on you now. You get a system you want. Don't leave. Oh, I got one quick message before I let it go. Melo, do not leave. Do not leave. It was the system. It was, you want to get up more shots. Don't leave. Don't run. Don't buy out now. He's gone now. There's no excuse. You get at least 1 year. Give us one. You, your young boy, your squad, Steve Mills. Y'all had 3 years of it was bad. It was a triangle. Don't run now. Don't buy out and go run with your homeboys. Stand right here. Stand tall.
Okay.
Yeah. Show some of that heart. Sit right here. Get in the playoffs now.
Okay, so we got young talent talking to his beloved New York Knicks, getting to the playoffs because y'all done push Phil out, man. Go. I need you to weigh in on this, man. There's been a lot going on today. How do you feel about this Phil Jackson situation?
Well, me personally, it's 2 ways to look at it. Well, several ways to look at it, but this is how I see it. Phil Jackson inherited a playoff team, and they ain't been to the playoffs since he got there. Partially due to the fact that he wanted to do it his own way. Prior to bringing in Phil Jackson, he had a plan, he had an idea, he had a vision that he wanted to operate this program and this system his way. He wanted to do it his way. And the Knicks was a 54-win team with Mike D'Antoni, fired him, brought in Mike Woodson. Mike Woodson was doing a great job. He let Mike Woodson go. He wanted to go in another direction. What I think everybody's going to point out that Phil Jackson made bad moves, Joakim Noah's contract, giving up Tyson Chandler for Sam Dallenberg, picking Porzingis was great. You're going to get all of that good stuff. But the thing that I do not like about the New York Knicks and what they did in its organization was that they did not let the man finish what he started.
Okay.
You hire him to do a job, allow him to finish what he started. Because 3 years from now, if Frank pans out, Melo leaves at the end of his contract, Porzingis stays and blossoms into a beautiful player, he's going to reap the New York Knicks franchise is going to reap the benefits for the decisions that he made. Don't let Jeff Hornacek still be the coach. Oh my goodness, it's really going to be some smoke in the city. If they make the playoffs this season, it's going to be because of what Phil Jackson did with that roster prior to him getting fired. That's just my personal opinion on that. But some of the moves that Phil Jackson made with hiring Derek Fisher as the coach, I did not like. Trying to implement an offense that I feel like him and Tex Winter was the master of, and he wasn't there to teach it. I did not like. I understand that he was trying to bring structure and organization to a franchise who thought that they were in chaos. So from that perspective, he did do his job.
Okay, I mean that's a good point, DB.
Hold on. And I also want to say that for the Stephen A. and the Max Kellermans of the world, these people who are just crucifying Phil, if you're not the Houston Rockets or you're not the Golden State Warriors, what have you done better or much better than Phil Jackson? I just want to know.
Well, real quick, before we go into that,
teams, like Indiana was good.
Steve Burt's, hold on a sec, real quick. I need to build on your point right now because you're talking about some of the good decisions that Phil made. But, I mean, it does kind of look interesting to me and almost an indictment where Mike D'Antoni wins Coach of the Year, but this is one of the men that you ousted in your tenure. So has all of the decisions been good decisions? Young talent, get in on this one.
No, Phil Jackson don't got nothing to do with Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni left before it was Mike Woodson team. That team that he inherited in that season was not going to the playoffs. They had a light run when he got there with Raymond Felton and them.
Jeremy Lin Sanity.
No, Lin Sanity was even gone. He was the aftermath of that. This is what I'm trying to say. It looked like he's everything. He came into a bad situation. One pick in the first 3 years. He walked into that. Fair enough. Bad decisions, different antics, whatever it may be. Fair. We'll see what the results of his decision.
My problem with the whole report.
Oh, hold on. I gotta make one point. To Stephen A. Smith. I just want to know, I want to ask the world, do you guys remember what Stephen A. Smith's nickname was when the New York Knicks last was in the playoffs?
Was it Screaming A?
No.
What was it?
One of them. That would have been one, but that ain't what I'm talking about. Do you remember what his nickname was?
No, I don't. You got to refresh my memory.
The mayor of South Beach.
Oh, so
are you ready for the New York Knicks? How are you a voice for New York City and you are the mayor of South Beach? Where you at, Holmes? That ain't where we at. So why am I listening to the decisions of this dude? He's an old, hurt Knick fan, I'm telling you. His name was the mayor of South Beach. He hurt. He's still hurt from them. They thought they was going to beat Pippen in them. They tripping. They still delusional. They're still there. Pat got out of there a long time ago. That organization was bad before they got it. They blaming it on other things. Pat had one. Where was Pat's superstar?
Oh, okay. So I hear a lot of Phil Jackson apologizing going on. I mean, listen.
No,
word on the street. He wanted Okafor, not Porzingis. He did capitulate and listen to his people.
Wait, I'm glad you said that. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I need Okafor, right?
Yeah.
He wanted Okafor. You know who else was screaming in the media needed Okafor? Who would have worked perfectly in the triangle? Who I think is box office? Who gonna get it done on the offense? I don't know about his defense, but maybe on the rebound. But he's just so good.
Talk to me.
Who else wanted Justice Winslow instead of Kristaps Porzingis? Why would you get this young flimsy kid? Now he could not go to meetings. That be whatever y'all feel about meetings. Another point I got to make to Stephen A. Smith. I'm telling y'all. I just want to make this announcement. Another point I got to make to him. He'll scream and holler about these young boys, what kind of attitude not to have, what way to think, stay off the weed, man. If you tell anybody at any job that their boss wants to have a meeting with them, they don't have the meeting with them, and their boss reached out to them, do you think they would get fired in regular day America?
That's a good possibility. That's a good possibility.
That's a possibility. with anybody else. So you got put on the trade deadlock and everybody going crazy. But just a year before, it was why did I do it? He might not blossom for 3 years.
I mean, but let's be honest though. When everybody was saying, and I was one of those people who was on wax saying he wasn't going to develop for another 3 years, but the man proved me wrong. The man proved everybody wrong. This guy is a player. You must build around Porzingis. You can't ship him out.
Listen to my point here. The same dude that gave opinions and was screaming at him for making decisions this way and been killing him since he got in the door was mad that he ended up with Porzingis. But you wanted Okafor and Justice Winslow, and neither one of them are stars right now.
Good point, my brother. Good point. Now,
and be right. You can't be wrong and be right. You can't say this is what you would do, and then he do this, and his look right better than yours, and go, but I'm still right because you shouldn't have did it at the time. Like, what?
Right. And just to let everybody know, y'all listening to Phresh Perspective, and we giving you our immediate reaction to the Phil Jackson firing. DB, I need you to get a little bit more in here, man. We talked about some of the bad coaching decisions. We talked about, I mean, he probably shouldn't have got rid of Woodson. He should have gave D'Antoni enough time because obviously D'Antoni can coach.
He shouldn't have did Derek Fisher. I agree on that.
Right. So DB, I mean, what else can you say about this situation? Was James Dolan right? Or is, like everybody's been saying all day, is James Dolan the problem?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing in its proper perspective from my opinion. Here's the thing. Everybody's going to crucify Phil Jackson. But if the things that go on, but I think that could possibly go on in reference to the New York Knicks buying out Carmelo Anthony's contract and letting him go to Houston or go to wherever he decides to go. Newsflash, that's what Phil was going to do anyway. So you're trying to tell me you fired a guy for doing what you're going to do anyway. That makes no sense. And then not to mention the same way if Phil Jackson was calling, I don't care if it was Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, whoever it was, if somebody was calling about a player, I mean, everybody put in a pitch for Porzingis. Even the San Antonio Spurs made a call and said, let me see what I can get. He didn't say he didn't get it. He didn't say he was going to take it. All he did was do what a president or a GM is supposed to do and listen. That's all he did. So if listening is wrong, and then at the same time, look at the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls made a decision. We're going to get something back from Jimmy Butler because his ass is gone when the season is over. Jerry West came into the Los Angeles Clippers. We got to get some for Chris Paul because at the end of the season, he's gone. So I'm willing to give up this player for assets. We don't know what Porzingis is. You're trying to tell me that a guy who can play both sides of the ball, he only averaged 18 and 8, a guy that y'all didn't even see is going to be anything. Now he's looking like he's a little bit of something, and I got to hold on to him. I'm the one who called him the unicorn. Y'all didn't give him the name. Y'all didn't know nothing about this kid, so I put him out there. So who's to say he's going to go somewhere else, and then when he goes somewhere else, the expectations is going to be higher, and then when he disappoints y'all, who y'all going to look at then?
Listen,
but hold on, young talent, real quick. He was making everybody's point. You talking about Jerry West got something for Chris Paul. You're talking about everybody was getting something for their assets. If Phil Jackson just pays Carmelo out, they get nothing.
But
I'm sorry. Hold on. I didn't mean to cut Courtney off, man.
Well, here's the thing, Hawk. If they do that anyway, he just got fired for nothing.
Hey man, people get fired every day, B.
But listen,
tough, right?
I'm with you on that, B. But listen to me. If the New York Knicks buy Carmelo Anthony's contract out, they just did the same thing Phil Jackson was going to do. So,
all right, hold up. Hey, young talent, get some real quick, man.
Hold on, one thing.
Talent, trying to get some.
Hold on, one thing, Hawk. Which goes to some people's point in this whole situation. Some people's point here is that you have to look at that the main problem was not Phil Jackson. That is the man who hired Phil Jackson. If he does the same thing Phil Jackson's going to do, then that's the biggest issue.
No. Listen, the problem is And the problem with everybody in the media has, this is where the media play a role. The problem with everybody has, right, is that he in particular is not doing the legwork, but he's delegating others to do the legwork.
Ain't that's what they supposed to do?
No, not necessarily. President, you want to work it, you're doing bad, but this is my whole point. If I choose to do it this way, and it becomes productive over the long haul, you got me a 5-year window. I'm just saying, like, what more? Like, y'all gave me the leverage to do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. If you buy him out, it was the same. It's the same situation. The Joe Kim Noah deal was stupid. Derek Fisher was a bad one. The Sasha Bowie chicks and all that. It was all about that triangle. I'm with you. I still don't think, like, listen, I don't view him the president at all. He was average on a statistical side. Over the long haul, I think he'll be better. It just didn't work. But I don't think this is just all on him.
And
like, he delegated people. People care about that part. Okay, cool. I don't care about that part. As long as they do the right job and they pick the right people, then what's the problem? Y'all just mad because I'm not doing the work. Y'all corny. Why y'all worry about how I do my work?
And world, I know y'all probably wondering why young talent is so upset over this Phil fire. And I have to let y'all in a little story, man. Around the time when I first met Mr. Chappelle, man, and I realized the amount of talent and ability that this young man had. He wrote an article about what was going on with the Knicks, and he wrote an article about what could fix the Knicks. And this is on wax. This is before Phil got the job. And one of his solutions was to hire Phil Jackson and let Phil work his magic and turn the Knicks around. And when Phil got the job, like, all three of us looked at each other like, wow, we got a prophet on the team, man. But I think this is why you feel so strongly about this situation.
I don't feel bad over. Listen, this is when I'll care more about it. I'm cool with the situation. I'll care more about it 2 years from now.
Okay.
5-year window to see what happens. Steve Mills, it's on you. I think Steve Mills can hold it down. All I'm saying is there should be no buyout. Carmelo needs to come out now. To me, this is just my personal thing. Come out now. Say it. I'm not going nowhere. I'm in New York. Ain't no buyout. Ain't no trade. This way I'm at. Give it 2 years. Give it 5. Not for 5. He gave you your money, whether it was stupid, whether it amount, no trade clause. I give you what you want. Rock with me for 5. You got 2 years left in it. Steve Mills, everybody, I did what I did, whatever, cool. Give me 2. Melo, don't run. Sit right here and go 5. Go get you one. Go get in the playoffs. Understand, as a Melo fan, you still ain't in the offseason. He acting like he was a superstar in this system. he acting like he was out here putting up 28, 29. He ain't do Kobe in them numbers. He ain't do AI in them numbers. I ain't even go on Mike in them levels. He didn't do some of them numbers. So they're still on you. You don't get to get away with this in 5. That was the point of staying. You don't get to get away from coming to New York and forcing your way here, forcing the first rebuild and get mad that someone else came in and want to force a rebuild. You did the same exact thing. And you didn't adapt to that triangle. It is not like he was the nicest dude in the triangle.
Right.
He had the nicest dude, but he wasn't the nicest dude in there. It's cool. I'm with everybody. Triangle, it's a new day and age. I'm cool with everything that everybody feel over the 2-year haul. I say don't leave, and y'all put the roster together from right now, and let's see the results. If y'all win, if y'all doing great in 2 over 5 years, he did his job to me.
I mean, are you okay with just a playoff run, or you want some hardware? I mean, I don't think a playoff run is enough.
Listen, no, championship is enough. Knicks been in the playoffs for years. They ain't had a championship in ages, bro. It's been years. Like, it's older than me. You're not understanding this. Like, I don't care. They've been.
Yeah, no, I understand. You need that chip, bro. As a John Starks fan myself.
I'm not a John Starks fan. You are. No offense
Yes.
to John Starks.
Shout out to John Starks.
And I respect him as a player. I wasn't like a fan. I never thought he was gonna beat Mike and him. I'm sorry. I didn't think he'd beat Penny. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I never believed it. Sorry, I couldn't believe it.
Well, good point, man. But you know what, y'all? This has been a interesting sports day. Phil Jackson has been let go. Well, they said it was a mutual decision between him and Dolan to leave. D. Burtz, I would like to get your final perspective on this situation. Talk to me.
Well, at the end of the day, Phil Jackson is still going to go down as the best basketball coach in the history of the game outside of Larry Brown. So that part of it is the legacy is not tarnished. And what people got to understand is him being president or head of basketball operations. I don't know what GM or what president of basketball operations in today's game just walked into the sport and immediately changed the team. It took Pat Riley time. It took Jerry Krause time. It took Jerry West time. It takes time. They gave this man 3 years to make nothing or something that kind of looked like something into something that's just miraculous. I mean, let's just see how long it took Pat Riley to get it to going, and let's see how long it take Pat Riley to get back. Let's just see. Jerry West just went to the.
I got a question.
Jerry West just went to the Clippers. Let's see how long it take him to build them up.
Hold on. Look, I got a question for you. Right now, forget Jerry West. Right now, outside of Jerry West, right? What has his peers done outside of go to the playoffs?
Nothing.
Some of them have missed the playoffs twice. Pat Riley missed it in 2 years. Pop's still in the playoff making good runs, but they ain't getting no win. Especially after he made that LaMarcus deal. Everybody wanted LaMarcus. Remember New York City? Remember that was part of the dude that y'all was so upset that he didn't get to talk to. He didn't get a meeting with LaMarcus Aldridge because he wanted LaMarcus Aldridge to play the 4 or the 5, excuse me, and he didn't want to play the 5. What he doing out there in San Antonio? He got the 4 position. Remember, they moved Tim Duncan to the 5. You put the old guy out there to protect him, and he trash right now. Trash can, bad move. Don't act like that don't matter. Y'all wanted Greg Monroe. He didn't really do nothing for the Bucks. They missed the playoff. Turned around and made it the next year, but it ain't because of him. Get out.
And we see how passionate young talent is about the situation. DB can't even get his final takeoff. We coming back to you, young talent. Hey, DB, finish your final perspective, sir.
Hey, man, it really don't even matter at this point. Just don't be hollering nothing. Don't be crying wolf when Phil get back with Jeannie laid up in that bed and they on the phone with Phil.
What?
And when they find out what Jeannie got in that bottle, and Phil over there talking to Magic and Phil start making these moves again. I want to hear what the New York Knicks fans got to say this.
Hey, man, get out.
All right, young talent. What's your final perspective on this?
It just changed just now. Now you doing too much. Chill out, homie. Go sit down somewhere and sit on the beach and chill. Let's not get it crazy. It ain't the end all be all. I'm just talking about the facts of New York City and how impatient they are. New York City is very impatient. They act like they won something. They ain't won nothing. It's a bunch of hurt Knicks fans running the Knicks organization. The fan base gotta chill. Y'all ain't won nothing. None of y'all seen no titles. How do y'all have opinions? I don't get it. How do you have an opinion if you never won nothing? You've never seen it in your life. There's a lot of hurt Knicks fans. I'm telling you, they believe it and they go. Listen, there's a difference, y'all. This is my final take. There's a difference in Knicks fans. There's those '90s John Stark, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. They played really physical. They did their job. They hooped. They balled, but they almost got it done. All of the kids in our generation up never thought they was gonna win for real. They didn't believe that. No way they seen the man out there and believe that. We had issues with Reggie Miller. We had issues with everybody. We went to 7 with the Bulls without Mike. What y'all looking at?
Once again, y'all listening to Fresh Perspective, and I'll say this. You know, they say the NFL stands for not for long. I guess the NBA stands for never bet on always, because it's turnover. You know, I agree. James Dolan is impatient.
James Dolan. Hey, James Dolan, it's New York.
Yeah, James. Nah, I say James. I mean, you look at the culture of that team with James at the helm, man. It's like the way Oakley got treated. You know, it's just everything, man. It just doesn't feel right with the super teams that my brother over there, DB, loves so much. It seems like it's a lot of teams that just not going to get a shot, not for a long time, until this whole super team thing dies down.
I don't really want to cut you off on that super team thing, but I got to say something, because if I didn't, it wouldn't be me. I don't know what NBA champion team ain't super. When you find that team, you let me know.
And since DB likes to cut people off when they're doing their final perspective, a super team is when people are coming together and jumping ship and joining teams. When you draft people like a Draymond Green, when you draft people like a Klay Thomas, when you draft somebody like a Stephen Curry, how's that a super team? That's good coaching. Yes, a super player came to that team, but
they won before he got there.
Hold on. That's super coaching, y'all. That's not a super team. A super team is when you and your friends get together, y'all number ones on your respective teams, and y'all come together to tip the balance in basketball. Back to New York. Back to New York.
Don't worry, I'm gonna let you
back to New York and back to Phil Jackson. I was looking forward to see what Phil could do in the front office. I am disappointed that it came to a stop early. I do feel like the writing was on the wall when he was taking calls for Porzingis and talking about buying out Carmelo, because honestly, they was looking at losing their two greatest assets for nothing. So Phil will land on his feet. Phil is the Zen master, and he's going to be okay. So once again, world, you tuned in to another episode of Phresh Perspective. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you like this show, please hit the like button and don't forget to hit subscribe, because we got more coming your way. Peace, y'all.